Welcome to this edition of the Luke Winstall Show. My next guest is four-star tight end Michael Smith out of Savannah, Georgia in the class of 2024. Michael, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real good, Luke.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Well, let's begin. For people that are hearing your name, I know a lot of attention has come your way here in the spring. What is your journey, and walk me through your story of getting to this point?
Well, when I first started off, I didn't quite get into sports until watching my older brother, Avery. I didn't really start watching until I started watching him play. That's when I probably got into sports. I started playing football because, I was always at his games and I just wanted to do everything that he did. So I got into football the year after, and it just took off from there. So, I played almost literally every position possible coming up. So watching him play wide receiver, I wanted to play wide receiver as well. But the height came along and the weight came with it, so they stuck me at tight end, and I fell in love a little bit.
Break down your game for me at tight end. What are some things that really make you stand out?
I'd say not being scared to just hit with anybody. If I gotta block you, I gotta block you. So I'm not scared to do it. I'll just hit with anybody if I have to.
Okay, and for you playing in the offense over at Calvary Day in Savannah with guys like Jake Merklinger, talk about that connection that you guys have, quarterback, tight end.
Well, me and Jake, we played rec league basketball with each other since about 8U, and then, 6th grade AAU, 7th grade AAU. So we've always had that kind of brotherly connection between each other. So it was always cool between us. And, just practicing with him last year when I rarely played, it was just he knew how to put the ball, where to put it, and I'll just go and get it. So transitioning that onto the field the next year, my 10th grade year, and he knows where to put it, I'll go and get it. So, we just know each other a lot.
As one of his pass catchers, what is the thing that you think is really made him blow up here in the spring?
The ability to read defense and, playing quarterback in 8th grade, that was my biggest weakness. So I didn't want to play it going into high school. So him being able to read defense, evade pressure, move around in the pocket and scramble. He's really a dual threat all around QB. So who wouldn't want him?
Yeah. So now for you and your game as a tight end that's really blown up lately, in terms of the recruitment, where are you in terms of the overall process here?
Still a little in the confused stage a bit, finding out things about coaches and recruiting websites and recruiters. So it's I got to call a coach every other minute, and I'll just forget sometimes. And I just get lost a little bit sometimes because it's still early to me.
Who are some people that are really influencing you or helping to guide you through all the processes?
Troy Ford, definitely. My oldest cousin, well, not oldest, but one of my older cousins, Bug Howard, he went through this process as well. So I'm really getting guidance from people who've been through this process or are going through the process as well.
So now when we look at who you are outside of football, how would you describe what you like to do outside of the game?
Just hang around, be I'd say involved in a lot of things. At school, I try to join a lot of clubs. I'll try. I haven't joined one this year because I really wasn't interested in much this year. But next year, I'm thinking about joining a lot of clubs and, getting to know a lot more people than what I do this year. Try to make friends with almost everyone.
Along the way for you, what is a challenge or something that you've overcome to get to this point?
I'd say, just confidence and just working through a lot of down moments, freshman year, not playing. I was on the verge just only playing basketball, but I wanted to work for a spot. I wanted to play football because of my brother, and he encouraged me to do it. So just working for that spot. So I'd say that.
What was the turning point for you in terms of the confidence and those kinds of things moving to where you are here?
I'd say Troy getting his first offer and then, realizing okay, Troy's getting noticed is okay, he's getting noticed. So I want to be in that same position. So I work to get where he's at and try to go past him or be even with him in a sense.
Okay. And what drives you?
My mom, definitely. Don't want to let my mom down at all. Just working to make her proud. So I'm working through all that for that.
Whether it's on the field or off the field, what do you feel like is a characteristic that you're most known for?
Always being, always smiling. Honestly, being joyful or like trying to bringing a joke into any given moment. So everyone, they need a laugh or a smile. They come to me a lot. So yeah.
When you see people that are kind of breaking down your game or just people in general, what do you feel like they might misunderstand or don't understand about you or don't get right?
Well, one read that I have read is that like someone said, new school tight end that doesn't really love to block as much. I kind of disagree with that one because I mean, I love just hitting people. So if I got a block, I'll do it. Like, so I read that was the one read that I completely disagreed with. So that one definitely.
So in terms of blocking passing, do you feel like you're, proficient in both areas or working on one right now, or how does that go?
I'd say working on blocking, like, technique wise, like usually like my initial punch is like very effective, but like can't like really carry on after. I can carry on a little bit, but not as much. So that's really something I'm really working on.
So you're working on that here and in your spring, summer development in 2022. What are things that you're really thinking about or things that are at the forefront of your mind when you look at your development and trying to improve?
Blocking, yeah, blocking, making like contested catches, catching in traffic, and yeah, I'd say, being effective like everywhere like I'm put at on the field.
I know coming out of Savannah, Georgia, there's some guys that get the exposure, and you've got several at your school now, but in terms of that area, it's maybe not as highly recruited as Atlanta or some other cities. And when you think of Savannah football, what comes to mind for you in that level of competition?
Definitely, like, other recruits that's in the area or people who should be heavily recruited, but, the school they go to is like, doesn't like really get as much attention. So, people like Tavion Gatson, Tamari Dowdy, like those are like all dogs. Like, I mean, like they'll hit with anybody, they'll go against anybody, like they don't care. So like I feel like Tavion is recruited, but Samari, like he's like underrated. So I mean, it's competition down here. It's just that hasn't been found yet. It's real calm.
Yeah, and what did it take for you, or how did that recruitment for you get started?
I'd say just being thrown into the fire. So earlier in the season, Troy broke his hand. So like I had to step up at tight end because that's what he was playing. He was playing both sides. So I stepped up, and he came back, and it was already like the second game of the season. So they just let me keep the position, and I was also going both ways. So once I got that first offer, they just decided like, yeah, we'll just keep you on offense. So that's really how that blew up. I think, yeah, South Carolina offered me first, and then, I think everybody was like, okay, South Carolina took a shot. Why not take a shot on him as well? So I think that's how that blew up.
Yeah, and Troy is committed to UCF, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you mentioned him as someone that's influenced you, and you mentioned him a few times. What's the dynamic or the relationship like between you two?
He's just like, a role model or like, an advisor for me. Like I'll ask him about like something I post, like, is this like something like good enough to post, or is it relevant? Like, yeah, I'll just ask him for like help on like stuff like whether I should or should not do it sometimes.
All right, and my final question for you. When you look ahead, what are some goals you have and things that you're looking to achieve?
Definitely, walking across that stage on draft night for the NFL, that's one thing, main goal right now. But as of right now, I want to, go to, when I do commit, I want to go to a school that like really fits me, like really fits me, like where the coaches are well, the facility, the people in the building. Like I just want to go somewhere like that I know I love.
Well, Michael, thank you for your time and good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you. No problem.